Welcome to the Bucher and Friends podcast, co-starring 10-year NBA center Ryan Hollins.
Couple pump fakes, leans in, shot blocked by Ryan Hollins. Hollins sent that into the third row.
6 rebounds and 8 assists.
Hollins climbs the stairs.
Down the floor. Ryan Hollins! He is the high jumper!
That's what I want to see. Give me some gunpowder and throw the hammer down.
And now, here is your host,
Let's send it over to Rick Bucher.
Rick Bucher.
Welcome to another episode of Bucher and Hollins, subsidiary of Bucher and Friends, part of the United WeCast network. I'm Rick Bucher. You can find my stuff on Bleacher Report or on Twitter at Rick Bucher. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Bucher Friends. And you can find The Ryan Hollins at The Ryan Hollins on Twitter and Instagram. I never pop your
Instagram. I'm just Ryan Hollins.
Just Ryan Hollins on Instagram, but he's going 40K strong. So obviously doing something right on that platform. You can see him on ESPN. You can hear him on NBA radio. What, am I missing anything?
Clippers broadcasts.
Clippers broadcasts. Man of the people. You name it. He's doing it. He's Ryan Hollins. What's up, Ryan?
I think
you have something to say to me, huh?
I mean, you just breaking. No, it's funny, man. For those loyal listeners, I've got to give you a shout out, man. But my guy, Rick Bucher, he's breaking the internet. I guess it's a verified now. He verifies it. And this is something I told him about Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, and he scoffed at me.
I did.
He went so overboard.
I did.
To tell me that there's no way Kyrie would join LeBron.
It's a ridiculous notion.
This is not even a notion. Yeah. This is wild. What the heck? And I look on my phone. I get this alert that breaks the internet that Rick Bucher is breaking the story that Kyrie Irving leaves the possibility of joining LeBron.
Yeah.
Mr. Bucher.
Yeah.
Mr. Bucher, what do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah. Well, this is how I think when we spoke, had LeBron put out his Instagram post singing Fetty Wap's Rewind to Kyrie?
Rewind, rewind, rewind.
Had he done that or no?
No, he didn't do that, but I saw what I needed to see, bro.
What was that? What did you see?
I saw that Kyrie Irving called that man and had a man-to-man talk, and I see what's going on in Boston. I see what's going on in L.A.
Well, you were prescient, and I was skeptical. And so when the Instagram post came out, I called someone who I know is tight with Kyrie, who is tight with Kyrie. I'll leave it at that. And I said, like, there's nothing to this Kyrie going and playing with LeBron, is there? He goes, oh, no, it's for real. I mentioned this on yesterday's podcast. I quoted it in the story that I did for Bleacher Report. But I ran down in the same way that I ran you down on our podcast. I talked to my guy and I'm like, yeah, but. And he was like, hey, dude, some people are cut out to carry that weight and some people aren't. Essentially, like Kyrie's appreciation for what LeBron allowed him to do, and more importantly, what he didn't have to do while he was playing with LeBron, he's missing that right now.
Dang, so Rick, that sounds like what I said.
It is very similar to what you said,
smiling.
And I just didn't believe it until I heard it a second time from somebody who was telling me, yeah, that's exactly what's going on with Kyrie. So, did you read the tea leaves and say, oh, I've seen this movie before? Or did you have somebody somewhere in the league? Because you know people as like I know people. Was somebody tipping you off to say, whether it was indirectly or directly, hey, it's not good in Boston, Kyrie's looking around, et cetera, or was it just simply you were connecting dots?
Connecting dots, man. You got to think, I've been in 10 years of locker rooms. I know Kyrie. I play with Kyrie. Good dude, man. Great dude. But you can just see players' body language. I know how players think. I see what they go through. I see the lay of the landscape. I see the way that guys move now. And does Kyrie really want to necessarily go to New York with a lot of question marks? And for those of you who think that LA is not a attractive place to play or be because Kawhi Leonard chooses not to go there, that's crazy. Kawhi is just a dude that he's so not the average NBA player. He's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's just kind of very simple and goes about his business. You know what I'm saying? But for the rest of the guys, LA? Oh.
Well, wait a minute. Are you breaking other news? Are you saying Kawhi Leonard's not going to wind up in LA in any way, shape, or form?
No, he won't be a Laker. That's really not what it's looking like unless there's something unforeseen that comes.
Right.
But I'm just saying, as far as if you're looking at Lakers or Clippers, he's not enamored. He's not your average NBA player that will go, oh, man, I'm going to be a Laker? Oh, I'm all over this.
You know what? But here's the thing. I don't know that there is an average or typical NBA player these days. It seems as if the mold has been broken. The generation of players coming up think different than the prototype that we had growing up. I think even with you growing up, that guys are more independent thinking. They're not beholden to the storied franchises or the historic logos or any of that stuff. I think there's more. I'm not saying that Kawhi Leonard is typical, but I think there are a lot of atypical guys. Paul George decided to stay in OKC. James Harden goes to Houston. Chris Paul leaves LA to go to Houston. I mean, guys are going where guys want to go. Dwight Howard was more interested in going to Brooklyn initially than any place else. So, like,
Brooklyn is New York now. So let's not sell that short.
It is and it isn't.
Oh no, it sure is. Well, you living in New York, you're getting all the you're not necessarily a Knick. Maybe you're the Clipper of New York, but you're getting all the media. You got all the stuff there. You
have the media. I don't know if you get the same promo deals, but I hear you. I think the comparison to the Clippers is apt. You are the second brand. You're not the Yankees. You're the Mets. You're in New York. There's some advantages. But I just see a lot of guys who aren't about, like, I got to be in a major market and I want to be in New York or LA. Guys are thinking more globally than locally these days. And I don't have a problem with it. But so Kyrie, and I'm still not convinced that Kyrie's going to end up in LA. It's a long season, bro. Like, a lot can happen between. Do you think it's a done deal? Because I'm saying it because I'm looking at your face. Like, your face just said to me, we had this conversation a couple podcasts ago and you didn't believe me. And now somebody confirmed what I told you. And now you're still questioning this. And you gave me this like, are you really asking me that question, brah, face? That's what you gave me.
You're just going to say it before I say it? I mean, you got to think, with the young guys on their roster, let's say they make some moves, they get AD, they're still very capable of signing 3 stars. Now, they just have to move some contracts.
Yeah.
They have to move some things around, but they're equipped. Everybody's off the books. Rondo's off the books. Lance is off the books. They and then they are young labor after that. Right. So they're very capable of having 3 max contract guys. They would just have to try to kind of move some things around.
See, LeBron and AD does not scare me. They'd be really good. They don't scare me. Kyrie, AD, and LeBron. Whoo, that's Miami. That's the Heatles part 2 is what that is. You got AD. AD's a better Bosh or a better Love. Kyrie is Kyrie is a younger and more a better fit with LeBron than Wade.
And now I just tell Kyrie get a bucket, right? Now I'm saying get a bucket. I'm saying you don't have to do all that, just go get a bucket.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie's going, dang, Bron, not that he wasn't clutch before, but like Bron is making plays. Yeah. So now we're legitimate 1-2 tandem coming down the stretch.
I don't have a dog in the fight. I would love to see this happen. I'm even willing to put up the insufferable Lakers fans and how insufferable they will be if this happens. I'm good with that. I'm good with all the LeBroniacs who are going to go, through the roof about the comparisons again, who's the GOAT, et cetera, et cetera. I'm willing to put up with all of that just
does that mean
those three together.
Is this the closest you're going to come to an apology to me? Is this like the closest you're coming?
Are you asking for an apology? Is that where we're at? Is that where you and I are at? Is that what's necessary here?
I'm just pretty surprised of how hard you went, and our listeners know you went dumb hard, Rick. But you're laying it out.
Even now, with what you said, with what I was told, and the questions that I asked, and the assurance and the conviction by which all of it was said to me, I still am having a hard time with the idea that Kyrie, it's not just that Kyrie left him in Cleveland and said, I don't want to be part of this universe anymore, but that he went to Boston, where he's the undisputed star, where they could beat up the East for years to come and do exactly what LeBron did.
But can they?
He's got an excellent coach. Why can't they?
But can they?
They got picks. They got young players.
It don't look that great right now. On paper, I love it, but it don't look that like them young dudes are low key like Kyrie. You could go, bruh. And then let's not keep in mind. See, this is real. NBA players are competitive. If Danny Ainge, you're putting out reports that you're very thirsty after Anthony Davis, who has to go? Who has to go?
Kyrie has to go.
Kyrie has to go.
Yeah.
You're not. He's not sitting back saying we're good.
AD doesn't. I don't know how much AD really does for me in Boston. I'm down on AD.
But regardless, I'm
as down on AD as you are on the Celtics. By the way, the Celtics are 4 games out of first place in the Eastern Conference. Don't make it sound like they're dragging ass. They're 32-19. They're right now, for all of their troubles, they're in the 5th seed, and they're basically tied with Indiana for wins.
Have they met expectations?
No, but they've shown you flashes of what they can be.
Hey, what you think about AD getting taken off the pregame deal? What are your first emotions when you see that?
My first reaction is the same as I saw on Twitter, and I apologize for not identifying who it was, but maybe it was Jared Dudley, said it was petty. Now, I actually don't have, as I think about it, I don't have a problem with it. You said you don't want to be here, you want to be traded, but I wouldn't have him on the bench either. Al Gentry talked about, has had to talk to the press about this and asking about the hype video. I think he did it after the game, and in which they lost to the Denver Nuggets at home, 105-99. And Al said, well, I've never even watched that video. I don't know who's on it or who's not. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. But AD, what's awkward is AD's on the bench. And when you're on the bench, you ain't got nothing to do but watch the video, watch the dance team, you're just looking for things to occupy you. So AD is sitting there watching his presence in New Orleans being erased before his very eyes. That's what had to be awkward.
I tell you that before he came out publicly, he literally had to, it was ugly behind the scenes there. And you don't want things to get ugly, but he was definitely in a sense where they had let management know they want to get out, and management let them know, hey, probably like Paul George, we don't want to go. Yeah. This is a trend that's happening. We don't want you to go. No, you're not going anywhere. Right. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. You know, and then, hey, we need to meet up because we need to make this thing happen. No, we'll work it out. And then now it gets pressed to the point where little things start to leak. Yep. And then, okay, that's still not enough. But now it's pressed to the point where AD has to come out publicly and say, I'm not signing back. I want to trade. Yep. Look. And you know what? And real quick, not just do I want to trade. Am I wrong? I'm going to decide my own trade because you send me somewhere I'm not going to report, and I will not be back.
Has he said that? Or have you heard that?
AD personally, no. But them dogs behind the scene.
Yeah.
My dude, Rich Paul.
I'm sure
them dogs behind the scene.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Hey,
and
he putting in calls. If they're calling Rich right now, Rich is probably going, don't even think about it.
Right.
We good.
Well,
we
look,
good.
It's the same as Jimmy Butler. Tom Thibodeau knew months ahead of time. He was alerted. We ain't coming back. We're not re-signing. You best move us now. And Tibbs didn't pass that along. Same thing. We can work it out. Let's talk it through, et cetera, et cetera. And look, Oklahoma City did the same thing with Kevin Durant. There's only one guy that I know who did this the right way, and it was Masai Ujiri in Denver, who went to Carmelo, and he asked the question, "Are you in or are you out?" And Melo didn't answer the question, and so he went by the assumption that he was out, and he knew at that point he was going to move him either to Brooklyn or New York, and he kind of always knew it was going to be New York because he knew he could get the most out of them. Most teams are not willing to make that. They want to believe we can make it better. We can fix it. And I don't know how many of those instances that's actually come true. But what happens is they win the PR game because the player eventually sees that they're not moving him and they have to go public, and then the public comes down on the player. I'll tell you what, Ryan, I don't have a problem with AD asking for a trade, announcing that he wants to be traded, that he wants to play where he wants to play. I have no problem with any of that. The problem that I have, and I don't know whether he's equating it or whether it's the media equating it, the problem that I have is people saying, oh, well, it's understandable that he wants to go because they're 13th in the Western Conference. I'm not giving that to the best player on the team. If you're 13th in the conference and you're the best player on the team, you have ownership in you being 13th in the conference. I'm not separating those two. You want to go someplace else? I'm good. But if the team sucks, you have a hand in that. I can't say that you're great. I can't say that you're a star or superstar and say it's not your fault, that you don't have some culpability in where your team is. That's where I draw the line. You want to go someplace else? I'm good. Free country, or at least it should be. It isn't in the NBA. It's not in professional sports, but everywhere else it is. Should be. I said this on the podcast yesterday. What drives me crazy is you got millionaire athletes. You got athletes that have the rarest of skills. If you, in any other field, music, business, you name it, people that are as rarely skilled as the people in the NBA, nobody questions that they have the free will of working where they want to work, for who they want to work with or for. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're not telling Warren Buffett, no, dude, you got to live here, or you got to stay with this company. We don't. Bill Gates. I mean, I went down the line. Musicians, you name it. Jay-Z, Meek Mill. Meek Mill's got to stay with a certain record label because that's who he started with. Get out of here. We don't expect. But with athletes, oh no. You're supposed to stay with the team that drafted you. You're supposed to go down with the ship. Why the hell is that? Because it's always been that way, and because the dirty secret is, in my mind, fans look at players like property. They don't look at them like people. They look at them like, you belong to my team. You belong to my team. You're like a car in the garage.
Well, the reality is, and man, you just spoke some truth. They never really see it because they don't get up in arms when the player who wasn't that good got cut, or just a hardworking guy was let go. Yeah. They're not picketing. They're not fighting that guy. They're not up in arms. But when the star decides to move, somehow, whoa, he can't move. He can't move. Right. And it's selfishly. I think it says a lot about you, but it's selfishly about you. And it's so not about the player. It's so not about anything else. Yeah.
So I talked a lot about that. So what about for you? Like when you see them scrubbing AD's presence or the hype video, what do you think? Like, let's say you were still in the league. Would that in any way impact your thoughts about being in New Orleans, playing for New Orleans, any of that?
I mean, for me, it's always a business. But if I'm a star, a big name star, and I can choose, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't sign there. But, they're not getting anybody regardless.
Yeah.
But you start to see how petty that this stuff is. And, it's funny, Rick, you probably know more history on this than I do. It's even bigger when it's about the Lakers. Mm-hmm. You hear reports of GMs and people saying, yo, do not help the Lakers out. And right now, it literally just makes sense for New Orleans because that's the most that they're going to get. That's the most that they're going to get in now. And I know technically Boston can give them more, right? But I tell you one thing. Let's say New Orleans waits for Boston, right?
Yes. Or New York.
Boston comes around and says, you know what? We're just going to match. What deal do you have from someone else? Let's say the Lakers pull their deal off the table. Let's say New York doesn't have enough assets to make it happen.
Yeah.
Or it's a Porzingis swap or else.
Yeah.
Boston doesn't need to sweeten that deal. They can make it really sweet. And Boston said, I don't need to sweeten it. I don't need to give you the house because this is the best you're going to get. This is the best you're going to get.
Well,
so Boston can essentially pull out and just say, we're screwing the Lakers. Because don't tell me that this Lakers-Celtics rivalry still doesn't exist to this day.
Yeah. No, it does. But I believe it's a rivalry between the Lakers and the rest of the league. And it's not so much their success. That's not what's driving this. It's the arrogance. Because let's face it, Magic doing the whole wink, wink, nod, nod thing with Paul George, and then they get slapped with $500,000, which for the Lakers that's pocket change. That's walk around money. As one GM said to me, that's the receipts from their parking for a game. The league really didn't slow them down. And then LeBron comes out and says it would be incredible, amazing to play with Anthony Davis. And the league sends out a league-wide memo saying, hey, we're not supposed to influence, or you're not allowed to talk about guys under contract with other teams. You're not allowed to interfere with that, da-da-da-da-da. That's the extent of it. So the entire league looks at it and goes, the league's just about money. And they know that when the Lakers are big, they're making money. So, and the broadcast partners are happier, and everybody's happier. So we all have to take it in the shorts because the league wants the Lakers to matter, and they're not going to hold them to the same accountability that they do the rest of us. So you're right. It's not just the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. Right now, everybody in the league looks at the Lakers and goes, they're getting away with murder. Why are they allowed to get away with murder?
To me, it's like you bought the team in your city. What are you complaining for? Like, you are who you are. Like, Rick, you're not going to make yourself 7 feet one day. Are you going to walk around being mad that you're not 7 feet tall? Am I going to walk around that I don't have gorgeous red hair like you, Rick? I mean, we are who we are. If you're Phoenix, or you're San Antonio, or you're Milwaukee, or you're the Pelicans, you are the Pelicans. So why are you mad at the Lakers in the city with their tradition that when they're a decent market, like they're UCLA, you got to mess up UCLA, bro, to have some bad players there. You got to mess up the Lakers. You have to screw up the roster so bad for it not to be an attractive market or something you can take care of business with. So you are who you are. Why get mad at those teams, Rick?
Because you're being rational. You're being logical. You're being even-tempered. It's not where they are. It's who owns those teams. The other 29 guys, and I would put Jeannie Buss in the same category. You know what they all have in common? They get their way. So now you got 29 people looking across the table going, wait a minute, he's getting his way. They're getting their way. I'm supposed to get my way. I'm supposed to get a big piece of the pie. How come I'm getting a smaller piece? That's what it is. It's envy. It's pure envy. It's not even like we want to win, because half of these teams aren't. It's not the profits. Making the bottom line is more important to them. I guarantee you, New Orleans is upset because AD attracts what few corporate sponsors they can get. It sells season tickets. Right now, their season ticket sales department is looking at it going, "Whew, this could be rough."
Oh, gosh.
And that's what they're upset about. So, and that's where, and they look at the Lakers and they're like, the Lakers make money no matter who they have. Like, why are we doubling down on that? So I get why there is resentment in this whole deal. And then the Lakers fans have the gall to complain when David Stern stepped in and wouldn't let Dell Demps make the deal that would send Chris Paul to the Lakers. As if he did that somehow. I mean, have they really looked at the deal that the Lakers were offering? It wasn't a good deal. It wasn't a good deal. That's what everybody kind of glosses straight past. Like, oh, David Stern was taking it out on the Lakers. He had it in for the Lakers. No. Any rational person would have looked at that deal and said, nah, this is Chris Paul. I'm not.
Well, let me give you want some more context to the situation?
Sure.
We just came off the lockout. What was allegedly the whole lockout over, Rick?
Pay for stars versus the regular guy?
So the big fight, you had the teams torn in, and you had New York revenue share, right? So you had New York, you had the Lakers, you had those teams that are they're just making money even on their bad years.
Right,
they're a gold mine. It is what it is. It's not changing nothing, right? And you had all these small market teams that cried broke. Mm-hmm. They didn't show us the numbers, but they cried broke, right? Mm-hmm. And then Stern goes in and bullies the players, bullies Billy, and probably pays Billy under the table and works it from both hands, right? Yep. Both sides. Mm-hmm. Billy Hunter's crooked. We know that. He's a thief. Crooked. All right? Works us from both sides. And the big fight was that these super teams kill us. How can we compete? That's what the small market teams are crying for, equality. We want a chance at a draft pick. We want a chance at keeping our young stars. We want a chance at being able to grow. So all these changes get put into place. How do you think David Stern would answer to the other 23 or 24 teams or whatever that are crying and whining, the Phoenixes of the world, the other teams, the Milwaukee's going, man, we can't be competitive. And then you're in charge and you send, and I know he said it was not just a bad deal and he criticized Demps, but he said, I'm going to send Chris Paul to the Lakers now. How hypocritical would I be if I literally allow that fresh off of a negotiation? Couldn't happen.
Right. Understood. And for those who may not recall, the deal that was being offered would have netted the Hornets Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, Lamar Odom, and Goran Dragic, along with a first-round pick that Houston had from the Knicks. And the problem with that is, even as decent as Goran Dragic has become, Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, Lamar Odom, Goran Dragic. Are you selling any tickets with any of those guys in New Orleans for Chris Paul?
It's got to be more than tickets, though, Rick.
Dude, what did I just say? It's always about the money when it comes to the league.
It's always about the money. Wow.
So for all the Lakers fans out there, are like, whoa, David Stern gave it to us in the shorts. He was unfair. No, he wasn't. He was smart. That's what he was. He was smart. He looked at what the offer was and said, we might as well bury the New Orleans Hornets now if we're going to do this deal. We can't do this deal. So, are you expecting that when we start next season, that we're going to see the Lakers trot out LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving?
I'm expecting AD.
Yeah.
I got to see how Boston finishes, though. But I believe that's a strong possibility. And you just flat out just dismissed me. Dismissed me.
Are you going back to that? Are you going back to that?
It's a strong possibility.
You're still hurt.
I'm just disappointed in you, Rick.
You know what?
I was happy for you because you broke the internet.
Is what you're working
and I know when you do well, I do well. When I do well, you do well. We are joined at the hip. You know, that's really not going away anytime soon. But Rick, you blasted your boy. Okay? Now it's coming true.
Here's the thing. I don't feel that bad found it because it's and this is why Ryan, it's not on you. It's not on you. Because you and my source, who I trust implicitly, it's one of those things where I go, God, it's hard for me to believe. I mean, I get it. It has more to do with Kyrie, but I guess it's me putting myself in Kyrie's shoes. You have everything you need in Boston. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around. You're going to go to the Lakers, and you know you're going to be number 2. You know you're going to be number 2. And you might, you'll be number 2. Even if AD goes there, you're still going to be number 2. But you're definitely going to be number 2. And what drove you crazy in Cleveland? LeBron controlled everything. He picked the coach. He decided when he was going to come, when he was going to go, who was on the team playing. He decided everything. And you wanted a voice. So unless that conversation was a lot deeper and LeBron James is like, hey, man, you want to decide whether we wear, purple or yellow socks on game day? Dude, I'm with you. You get that.
Hey, Rick, just that it happened doesn't tell you how deep it was. Just that phone call was actually made.
Well,
doesn't tell you how deep it. I mean, come on, Rick.
So here's the thing. I thought initially that because I needed to hear LeBron's end of the conversation, because Kyrie's the one who volunteered it. So my assumption was, why is Kyrie talking all about he called LeBron and volunteering that he had this conversation? And my thought was he did it because he wanted to present the thing that he could not get when he was in Cleveland, which is, I'm on the same plane as LeBron. I'm a peer. I'm not a caddy. I'm not a sidekick. I'm a peer. And by saying I called him and now I know how he feels. Like, he was putting himself on the same plane with LeBron, and he was advertising, I'm on the same plane as LeBron.
You can't even beat this dead horse no more because we know what it was about. You can't even beat this dead horse no more. I know how you felt. You can't beat this dead horse.
I'm just explaining. I'm explaining why it's still so hard for me to wrap my head around it. But I'm moving in your direction. I don't know if I'm completely there yet, but
is it 2019?
Yeah, it is too. 2019. It's almost February 2019. We're almost a full month into 2019. All right. That does it for this episode of Bucher and Holland's subsidiary of Bucher and Friends, part of the United WeCast Network. Keep in mind, we have other podcasts that you should listen to. Age Groupie by Lindsay Hyken. Check it out. Get Some by Gary Owen, comedian, actor. And we also have a website, bucherandfriends.com. I ask you to do this. This is for your own benefit. Go to the website. Please. It'll come up. You'll see a link for a survey. Take the survey. Takes just a couple minutes. You will be entered to win a $50 gift card to Amazon. We're going to pick somebody from the first 100 surveys for that $50. So, a couple minutes, have a chance at $50. How can you beat that? All right. In tomorrow's episode, I will still probably be apologizing to Ryan. I'm sure he's going to still be asking.
Formally apologize?
He's still going to be asking for that. No. I you're right. I haven't yet. You'll still be asking for me to apologize. We will also go over our picks for all the Friday night games, against the spread, over under. By the way, my friend, as of last week, we are now tied in total wins. I caught you.
You've been making a bit of a comeback, huh?
I'm making a major comeback. I'm about to blow by you this week.
Yeah, that may be a little too wishful.
That might be a little strong right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little strong.
And in any event, we will do that. We'll touch upon a little Super Bowl preview. Get Ryan Hollins' pick we got Will Blackman's at the beginning of the week. We'll get Ryan Hollins, who he thinks is going to win. We'll get a score from him, and then we can have fun with the results next week. But all of that is in tomorrow's podcast. In the meantime, thanks for listening.